Hi, I'm Carol Allen, and today I want to talk to you about things that you should maintain or repair in your home prior to having a home inspection. This is one of the things that is often overlooked by homeowners. Once a home inspection is done, anything that's identified in the home inspection report, if it is put on a home inspection addendum, it has to be repaired by a contractor licensed to perform that type of work. So if you have a plumbing leak, it has to be done by a licensed plumber. If you have something electrical that's broken, it has to be repaired by a licensed electrician. If it's an HVAC problem, it has to be done by a licensed HVAC technician. So it's not something that you as the homeowner can take care of. Now, it could be something simple. You could have a simple leak under your sink that you are quite capable of taking care of. But if you didn't do it prior to that home inspection and it hits a home inspection addendum, you now have to spend money to have someone repair it professionally. So let's talk about the types of things you should be looking at and repairing prior to having a home inspection done. Let's start with some safety and compliance items. Smoke detectors. In Virginia, you are required to have all smoke detectors working in accordance with Virginia law. Current code requires a smoke detector on every level of your home and inside every bedroom. Now, if your home is more than 20 years old, code back then probably did not require a smoke detector in each bedroom. So at a minimum, you still need to have a working smoke detector on each level. New construction and renovations require hardwired, interconnected smoke alarms with battery backup. So make sure your smoke detectors are working in accordance with law. And if they're more than 10 years old, they need to be replaced. Installation date on the back of that smoke detector. And here's a general rule of thumb. If your smoke detector is yellowed on your ceiling, it's time to replace it. Let's talk about GFCI outlets. You need to install ground fault circuit interrupters anywhere in a room where there's water. Kitchens, bathrooms, garages, exterior outlets. An electrician can do it very quickly, but you can do it as well. Anything that is within 6 feet of a water source needs to be GFCI protected. Garage doors and your access door from your house to your garage. Garage door sensors need to have an auto reverse mechanism so that if a small child or an animal is underneath that garage door when it's coming down, it's going to automatically reverse. And then the door that is between your house and your garage should be a fire-rated metal door, and it should also be self-closing. Now, I know a lot of people take those self-closing hinges off because if they're coming in and out with groceries, they don't want the door constantly slamming. But if you're selling your house, it is a good decision to put those self-closing hinges back on the door that is the service door between your house and your garage before you get an offer on your house and before that home inspection takes place. Now let's get into some of your mechanical systems. Your HVAC system. Have a licensed technician come and inspect and clean your HVAC system prior to going on the market. Buyers get very nervous if the air conditioner is not blowing cold. They do come around and they have little sensors and they're going to check the temperature differential between what is coming out of the vents. So make sure that that is in working order. And please change your filters. There is nothing worse on a home inspection than pulling open the HVAC filter and it's filthy. So make sure that you put a fresh filter in before your home inspection is done. If someone can come in and look at that filter and they see that it's clean, they're going to think that you have maintained it, even if you haven't, but you need to at least make the effort to change that filter. I recommend getting the entire system cleaned, but at a minimum, change that filter. And while you're in the mechanical room, ensure that your water heater does not have any leaks. Make sure that it's set to a safe temperature and make sure you have a working pressure relief valve. Having a drip pan underneath your water heater is also a good idea so that if something does start to leak, it will catch the water. And code in Northern Virginia requires that you have an expansion tank on your water heater as well. So if you replaced your water heater yourself and you didn't put an expansion tank on, that is something that may be called out on a home inspection and you may have to get a new permit and go and install the expansion tank. So make sure that that is done before you go on the market. Something that scares buyers more than anything is water. You want to check faucets, showers, and tubs for leaks and drips. Your shower diverter that redirects water to your shower head, if you pull the shower diverter up and water is still coming out of the spout, you need to replace that diverter, and it's very easy. Even I can do it. Make sure that all of your toilets are secured to the floor. If they're loose, you may have a problem with the wax ring around the bottom of the toilet. Garbage disposals, make sure that they're not leaking, make sure that there's no strange noises from debris being down inside the garbage disposal. And if you have a weird odor coming out of your garbage disposal, drop some ice cubes or some lemon peels down into the garbage disposal. Your appliances, cooktops and ovens. All of your burners should ignite. Your knobs should be in place. Your oven should be clean. Your stovetop should be clean. Your dishwasher, make sure that it's draining properly. Make sure that you have a high loop installed on your dishwasher so that there's no risk of a backflow from the garbage disposal back into the dishwasher. And then on your refrigerator, again, make sure that your filters are clean and that your water line is working. Clean the inside of your refrigerator. People are going to open up your refrigerator and look in there. You don't want them to look in and see 3-year-old food. There are some of us, I am one of these guilty people, that I keep condiments beyond the expiration date because in my mind that expiration date is just a suggestion. But if I was selling my house, I would be tossing anything that was beyond its expiration date because you don't want to give a buyer any excuse at all to think that there is something wrong with you or your refrigerator and that you're not clean. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Make sure that your refrigerator is cleaned. Let's talk about windows and doors. Windows should all open, close, and lock properly. If you open a window, it should stay up. It should not fall back down. If you tilt your window in to clean it, those little tabs should not be broken. Replace anything like that. If you have wood windows and you've painted over them and those windows don't open anymore, that presents a safety issue. You want to make sure that all of your windows open and close. Window screens, I know screens get a beating. They take a beating from the sun, they take a beating from the wind. If your screens are ripped, you want to replace those. It is very easy to do. You can do it yourself, or you can take those off and you can take them to a glass shop. There's one down in Bealton that I take all of my window screens to every couple of years, and I just have them rescreened. If you need a recommendation, I've got the recommendation for you. But make sure that your window screens are in good shape, your windows are opening properly. Now, sometimes we see this come up quite a bit. A lot of people think it's dirt. It's not dirt. If you see fogging or condensation on your windows, it's most likely that the seal has broken and you've gotten some condensation in between the two glass panes on those windows. It is cosmetic, but a lot of buyers will ask for that to be replaced. So go through your house and look at your windows. If you think your windows are dirty, if they look dirty, clean them really well on the inside and outside. If they still look dirty, it's a good chance that the seal is broken. You don't want that to come up on a home inspection report. You don't want that to be the reason that somebody doesn't buy your house. So let's identify any windows that might be compromised, and then we can talk about replacement cost. If you don't want to replace them, I will 100% support you because I do believe those broken seals are just cosmetic. But if they look really bad and you can't see out of them, it might be time to replace them. I almost forgot to talk about the doors. Go through your house and make sure all of your doors are opening and closing properly. Make sure that all of the lock mechanisms are working, and you want to check and make sure that you can't see daylight around the edges of your door. If you can see daylight and you can feel drafts coming in, you probably either have an insulation problem where the insulation strip might be deteriorated around your door, or your hinges could be loose. So you may need to tighten your door up a little bit to straighten those out. If that doesn't fix it, get somebody in to look at your doors because you want to make sure that you're not letting in any drafty air and you're not letting in any insects as well. We don't like bugs around here. Okay, structural and exterior items. Have your roof inspected for missing shingles, flashing issues, and nail pops. We are seeing more and more insurance issues with roofs that are over 15 years old. Many insurance companies now are using drones to inspect a roof before issuing insurance for the new homeowner. So you want to address any roof issues before you go on the market. The same thing goes for gutters and downspouts. You want to clean those out, make sure that water is draining away from the foundation of your house, and then inspect all of your fencing to make sure that your fences are not leaning and that your hardware is working. For landscaping, you want to trim any trees and shrubs away from the foundation of your house because that can keep water up against the side of your house and can also allow insects to come in. And then for your chimneys and fireplaces, I have had so many people this year have gas fireplace issues because what happens is they don't use their fireplace on a regular basis and they turn the pilot light off. And then when they get a home inspection request, they say, oh, we haven't been using the pilot light, we haven't been using our fireplace, they turn it back on and there's something wrong with it. So those repairs can get expensive. If you've had that gas turned off for a long time, things can and do go bad. So we've had to replace computer boards. We've had to make some extensive repairs for gas leaks this year. You also, for a wood burning fireplace, you want to have your chimney inspected. Make sure that the liner is in good shape and make sure you don't have any issues with cracking around the crown or any of the brickwork for your chimney. So it's really important, get that pilot light back on if it's gas and get a chimney inspection prior to going on the market, because you don't want that to show up on a home inspection report and then have to be repaired. Okay, now let's talk about some of the little things that could be going on in your house that buyers do notice. Caulking and grout. A lot of people think it's just cosmetic, but it's not. Cracked or missing grout and caulk is almost always going to lead to the inspector saying that it's indicative of water intrusion. So fix all of that stuff up. Painting, cover up any scuffs on the baseboards and the trim. Repainting your whole house is the best return on investment ever, but if you don't plan to repaint the whole house, make sure that you are at least hitting your baseboards and your walls with magic erasers. Your stairwells and your handles for your stairs, make sure none of that is loose. Tighten everything up, because a loose handrail is a dangerous handrail. And here's some little extra credit items that buyers love. Outdoor lighting and irrigation systems. If you have them, make sure they're in working order. Fire pits. A lot of people like fire pits. Built-in grills. Make sure they're clean. I know grills get dirty. And any built-in water features. Those are all things that buyers love. But if you have them, at least make sure that they're in working order. If you're going to present it and people are going to fall in love with it, make sure it works properly. Hopefully everything I just threw at you does not scare you. But if you are going to be selling your home anywhere in Northern Virginia, but specifically Prince William County, Manassas, or Fauquier County, I would love to help you, and I'm always happy to come and do a quick walkthrough at your home with you and point out any items that I think may be an obstacle to a home inspection report. Again, thank you so much for watching these videos. Please like, subscribe, and share the videos with your friends. And if you ever need anything home related, please reach out. I'm always happy to help.